You've been listening in to this update out of Surfside, Florida. Death toll rising to 18. 2 of those deaths reported today were children aged 4 and 10. We actually have a live report right now coming in from Surfside, Florida. I want to bring in Fox's Katie Byrne. Katie, we just heard from officials right there. Devastating news, but there's still some hope down on the ground with search and rescue teams. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they're still calling this a search and rescue, and they say that overnight they were able to discover some tunnels in this rubble, and they think that it's possible that people could still be alive in these gaps that they're finding in the concrete, the twisted metal, things that they're finding there.
I see many people on the balconies. The building is gone. There's no elevators.
Chilling moments over scanner radio when firefighters first got to the scene of the Surfside, Florida condo collapse.
This is nothing. I mean, it almost resembles the Trade Center.
For a week, hundreds of rescue workers have been going through the rubble. And some family members, desperate for more information on their loved ones, are still waiting.
I mean, we want to go there and pick ourselves, the rocks to take our family out, but we can't do that. So it's really hard. There's a lot of emotions going on.
Nicole Ortiz lost her sister, nephew, and brother-in-law. She's still missing 3 more relatives.
I went there and I screamed their names, and I prayed, I worshiped God, and I asked him that whatever happens, it will be his will.
Now officials face growing questions about what caused this collapse in the first place.
I've been in close contact with our state attorney, Kathy Fernandez-Rundle, and her office will be spearheading. We hope she'll be asking the grand jury to do an investigation into the collapse.
As families face tough decisions.
They were discussing to bury their father or wait for their grandmother and 2 children to be found. Should we wait or should we do it now? We don't want to do it 3 times, 4 times. We want to do it 1 time.
Latest numbers tonight, 18 people now known dead, including 2 children ages 4 and 10 years old. 145 people are still missing as President Biden is set to come out here tomorrow. Daytona?
Katie, we know that one of the main concerns right now is the weather. We just heard from officials that hopefully that tropical storm will kind of keep off the Surfside area through Saturday. But what has weather been like for teams out there? You have been there pretty much all week now, just kind of monitoring what's been going on.
Well, we've seen a big shift in officials talking about hurricane season now approaching in these press conferences. Didn't really come up over the last week, but today that is a big focus because a number of these teams that are responding to the collapse are teams that typically respond to hurricanes in South Florida or across this region. I can tell you that since I've been here, apparently this is normal for the Miami area at this time of year, but it's on and off raining every single day, every half hour or so, and there's occasional lightning, which when that happens, they do have to pull crews from searching the rubble, but they're getting back out there. They are doing as much as they can 24/7, operating on shifts every 12 hours where a new crew comes in, the crew leaves. But they are trying to prepare as much as they can for the potential that we could be seeing a tropical storm, Cyclone 5, coming into the mix here and impacting, what we're seeing here at the collapse site.
And Katie, last question for you. From your observation, has it still been pretty urgent out there with search and rescue teams? We know that there was a large amount of people who were brought out there right away, but is it still kind of the same amount of people, same amount of urgency to try to find and recover as many people as possible?
I can tell you it's only grown since the initial, days of this collapse, and now we have international response teams from Israeli, teams from Mexico. And, today where I'm standing, I'm outside one of the family reunification centers that's been set up. We've been seeing trucks start carrying debris from this site yesterday. They told us they went through about 3 million pounds of concrete from the site. They were putting them in these trucks and taking them to a different location where they could be sorted and sifted through. We saw about 4 rounds of trucks yesterday. Today, that number of trucks has gone up significantly. It's a big difference, and it looks like they're getting through the rubble faster today.
Okay, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you so much. Happy that a lot of those families are coming forward and sharing their stories. Devastating to hear that some families have not been reunited with other members, and those 2 children today, they're not confirming yet if they're relatives, but I imagine highly likely if they found them in the same area. So we'll be following this story alongside you. Katie Byrne reporting live for us out of Surfside, Florida tonight. We'll talk to you soon.